Hello everyone and welcome to Thermal Control Magazine's interactive session on MEP techniques to optimize HVAC systems. Pandemic has accelerated the need for evolution and digitization, and MEP is happening area. Mechanical area and plumbing market. Driven by growing infrastructure, development has good prospects in preceding pandemic times. A growing impending need is to impart training to prepare technicians to meet needs of skilled manpower for optimization. Everyone, consumer or HVAC contractor, all are getting ready to grab and utilize opportunities lost during pre-pandemic times. HVAC workers are also exposed to pandemic infection beside leakage of refrigerant chemicals and gases while on repair and maintenance jobs. Recently, growing IT, IoT, and artificial intelligence in HVAC systems and digitalization is influencing the HVAC markets for contractors. Today, the house owners want to update themselves about MEP for HVAC in case of repairs needed. Much of the energy produced by HVAC systems need to be optimized. HVAC actuators device market, sensing growing need to control energy produced, is expected to grow by $464 million in the electrical components and equipped industry during 2021-2025. The main driven by the growing demand for fail-proof HVAC controls. On this note, today we have come together to witness an engaging interactive session on MEP techniques to optimize HVAC systems. Ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor and privilege for me to introduce you to today's distinguished speakers. Mr. Pradeep Kumar, Head MEP Design at Landmark Group, Mr. Ejaz Qazi, Project Director, Voltas Limited, and Mr. Suhas Randive, MEP Consultant, Design Engineers.
And Mr. Pradeep, IoT uses collected data to identify opportunities and inefficiencies that gets us to real-time and saving management. Similarly, it alters our approach to fire prevention. This implies digital keeps tracking people and human movement in the surroundings. So safety is our prime concern. Does IoT and artificial intelligence play a role as alerts and warning systems to detect refrigerant leaks and its relevant location in HVAC scheme of things besides predictive maintenance? Mr.
Yeah,
Pradeep,
it will do.
please.
Yeah. Correct. True. It will do. It's a good question. So IoT will predict these kind of things also through, we have occupancy sensors and humidity sensors, CO2 sensors also. So it will predict all this thing. It will alert everything what we think so. Means apart from HVAC, we can club fire alerts. We can club human alerts also, and whatever we think in where we have a negligency, where we have I can say manual failure, we can overcome the manual failure wherever we want to.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Pradeep, for enlightening us about the final things about predictive maintenance. Mr. Ejaz, it was great analysis about future of HVAC projects, associated risk, and how to invest in learnings to be better on competitive scale. A lot of opportunities are emerging in MEP market post-COVID that depreciated the overall market growth rate. What are your views about it? And also, within the ambit of BIM, that is Building Information Modeling, for prefabrication purposes, each pipe, ducts can be represented digitally using 3D software as you showed on the screen. Does this planning practice reduces costs and increases the efficiency of MEP installations and commissioning of projects? Mr. Ejaz, please.
Yes, in terms of opportunity itself, a huge opportunity available, and there are very few who can deliver on time. And this is where everybody has to scale up their learnings and scale up their resources. Huge opportunities available. You name any segment, each and every place, as we said, we put the air into the system, right? We put the energy into the system. So a lot of avenues are available. In terms of BIM, yes, it helps a lot, and it actually reduces the cost. it gives the consistency and the quality which customer needs. Now, one of the project which I am working on currently, it's around 1 crore square feet area. And without BIM, you can't even think of doing this project. 60 to 70% of the work has been fabricated outside. So BIM gives a fabrication drawing, it goes out to the fabricator, it comes back and easily gets in. If you talk about dependability of the people, the problem is what we do is we're trying to compare everything, apple to orange, and this is where the problem lies. So if you talk about the advantages of BIM, we'll always think about material and labor cost, and you will try to say no, it is very costly. But if you can see the deficiencies or inefficiencies and the cost towards that, the cost of quality, the cost of safety, if you are put together, you will be always better off. And the very, very important thing is peace of mind, that you get a consistent result without doing the firefighting. Sorry to say that, but we have been trained to do firefightings, and this is where the mindsets have to change. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, Mr. Kasi, it is nice to see that technology is started widely getting used in MEP. While Mr. Pradeep, in your conversation you were saying, if you ask me about the challenges, there are plenty. So we couldn't go into that conversation, especially how MEP technologies can optimize HVAC system. While in this process, what kind of challenges you foresee, where industry probably must be very interested?
I'm just pointing out on the challenges part. You are talking about the challenges part and all. Yeah, because see, why I'm putting as a challenge is because in a current market situation, we have a lot of challenges. Like my friend told me, a lot of challenges while we'll do an AutoCAD drawing, and AutoCAD to be move into BIM. There is a lot more improvement in that. In practicality, when we do execution for IoTs and other things, as I mentioned, we have a software plus hardware combination. If we going to install the hardware in current situation, it's not many challenges, like we can't execute it properly, because if I want to do install a VFD, we wanted to install a smart dampers, air, because air existing, we already have a VCDs and a lot of other things. I have to cut down, we have to reinitiate this kind of hardware into the existing system, which is why I'm emphasizing on AutoCAD and the BIM, because currently if you go by the drawing and all, we don't have a proper drawing for those things. And slowly we are evaluating towards a BIM and all, so we are much ahead of the design drawing and all. So if we go into that thing, we had a better current as-built drawings and all. Currently we have this kind of challenge where we don't have a proper as-built drawing and all. So we have that kind of initial challenges and all. Other challenges like internet connectivity. Then sometimes we unpredictable on a climate conditions also. If you say the Google says tomorrow would be raining, sometimes it won't rain. If we do a pre-plan with the help of IoT, like what I explained we can do the pre-planning with the help of IoT and all. So if you do a pre-planning with the Google and other assistants, it may fail sometimes because our system is not so robust at present conditions. We'll do explanation on maybe in the next session when we have how we can overcome on this part of thing and all. And I think that clarify the challenges part of.
Yes. Mr. Suhas, while Mr. Pradeep was addressing the challenges, what challenges impact the MEP projects during planning and for sustainability during installation? And what various standards are available for implementation and commissioning of HVAC systems?
The challenge is that we have to first design a system. We have to place the unit location. After unit location, we have to see what we have to installation. We have to check the sections. That it should use what is the false ceiling height, what is the total height, how the units have to be placed, how the air quantities are to be installed, how the grill diffuser ducts are to be installed. So this proper, it has to be in a planning state that by during execution, that there should not be any confusion or any confusions or mismatch. So by designing only, we design a system in such a way that the drawings are as good as execution drawings. So that the contractor or the contractor or the agency does not depend on, does not to depend on another. We just do a complete drawing design so that it is as good as execution drawing. So this is how the contractor does not face any challenges. So while testing, there are various testing various testing agencies, various standards for chiller, various testing for ducting also. So different testing standards.
Yeah, I understand that it is pretty broad segment to talk about the challenges in that area. Yes, Mr. Kassi, I would like to hear from you as well. Also,
just to add on this commissioning standards, there are various standards which are available. ISRIA is one of the standards. ISRIA has come up with one standard, which I was one of the part of it. It has got very good. It's coming up with very good. On installation, there are various standards, as I said, on SMACNA for ducting, piping, we have welding procedures and other things. But commissioning, yes, there are a lot of standards available which we can prefer.
Yeah. Also, Mr. Kassi, thank you for that update. And also, one of our delegate want to ask: new industrial corridors are opening up in India, and what kind of impact this will have on the HVAC industry? So, if you can address that.
Industrial ventilation or industrial air conditioning is a very good, you can say, opportunity which is available for HVAC. Most of HVAC industries are focusing on the commercial or comfort air conditioning, and because I think there was slow growth in industrialization. Now this opportunity which is coming up is going to give a lot of opportunities for people to think about and start giving very good designs to the the industrialists, which can save a lot of energy. The first presenter, I think Pradeep has said, the HVAC is the energy guzzler. A lot of energy is used by HVAC system. So how do we give, energy efficient projects is going to be a key differentiator between the good company and the not so good company who can do the projects. But it's going to open up a lot of opportunities.
Yes, and also you mentioned about how technology is going to be very helpful for this process. Mr. Pradeep, I have a question to you that what is your say on the challenges and the need of MEP coordination in building and industrial projects, or you can say civil and industrial projects?
It's very much needed because I'll say it will impacting on the cost part, it will be impacting on the time part and the quality also. All three will be impacted if you are not well coordinated. If you are well coordinated, it will save a lot. Time will be saved, quality will improve definitely, and obviously the cost will be optimized if we are well connected.
Do you also see that technology in the sense of, say, automation and robotics is being used in MEP?
We are slowly moving towards that. Like we are AutoCAD 2, we are moving towards BIM and Revit. We are slowly moving towards them to optimize our design also. Like if I feed my design to a Revit or a BIM, it will give me a quantification, and it will optimize my BOQs and quantification and all. So we are slowly moving towards, but it will take time, what I feel so.
Okay, so it is not, as you see that you don't see large adoption of automation and industrialization. I mean,
absolutely. In the design industry, it will take time. Because of a lot of challenges we have as compared to other market and other industries. Like we have a small designers available in Pan India which won't afford that much the software cost and all, which is very high and all. So we have to take a baby step towards that. So we don't have to hurry. What I feel so. And it will be adopt in upcoming days and all. So we will be on beginning years, we can say on that.
Yeah, looking at whatever the kind of automation is happening in MEP sector, Mr. Cassie, still it is a labor-intensive activity, and having a trained pool of manpower is essential. How do you see the availability of trained manpower, and what kind of trend is happening in the industry in this?
Currently, it is very difficult. If you look at the manpower available now, it is around still 40 to 50% of what was supposed to be. So we have to go outside and do the prefabrication, which is the way to move ahead. It is already coming in some way in India. It is happening largely in Gulf and other countries. So we have to establish some of the shops which can also employ, so it will have an employment channel there also. So they can do this work. We can get them trained about specific areas about work. Suppose a manifold or suppose a duct. Duct is already into this thing. But a lot of other activities can be prefabricated outside. And it has been demonstrated also in India that with the right coordination, it can be done and we can reduce a lot of dependency on the labor. Obviously, site installation will require a lot of labor. But there also, as I showed some of the examples, it was little less time. A lot of innovations can be done at site to reduce the dependence on the people by using machines and techniques so that the dependency on the labor can be reduced, or we will, instead of 10 people, we can use 4 people, and with that machine, we can improve the productivity. Because you can see in India, none of the projects are completed on time. You can take the records and find out, not in India, but across the world. So it is very important we have to be productive and deliver the projects on time by looking at using the hybrid model of using available manpower and taking a lot of works outside the site and do outside and take it at site and install it. And that is going to be the way, and that has taught us this lesson in these COVID conditions to go ahead in that way.
Absolutely, and I clearly noticed that necessity of integration in your initial submission as well. Yes, Mr. Suhas, before we go to conclude the session, would you like to have anything to share with us? Mr. Pradeep, I request you to conclude this session. Can you give a closing remark?
So, as our friend Mr. Aziz and Mr. Suhas explained about the design and the coordination and the our industry's challenges in sites, I talk about the IoT and HVAC. So, see, I'll conclude in that way. Our country moving towards a smarter way of working, and slowly we will be in a bracket where we will see lot of difference in our working also towards. I can say we are moving towards a smart working rather than working hard. Earlier, we are working very hard, and we people as a genes, we do work hard. Now we are moving towards a smarter working. In design also, we are moving towards rivet and beam, and in execution also, we are moving towards the smarter way of execution. And in some of the site, we used to have CCTV cameras during, because that COVID taught us a lot. We not used to go to sites, so we implemented the cameras and Wi-Fi's and other thing to monitor the sites and all. So now, due to this pandemic, we think, why we are spending on this thing and all. So we are start reducing our operational costs also. So this pandemic, what I think, it taught a lot towards a smarter way of working. So we become a smarter day by day, and I hope another 1 or 2 years we will be competing well enough to compete in a world towards the smarter way of working.
Panelists, for exchanging your valuable thoughts on today's topic, MEP techniques to optimize HVAC systems. We hope you enjoyed the session thoroughly. Before wrapping up today's session, we would like to thank our distinguished speakers, Mr. Ijaz Qazi, Mr. Pradeep Kumar, and Mr. Suhas Sandive. I'd also like to thank Mr. Gopal Krishna and Mr. Prasad Nair for taking this initiative. So with this, we would like to announce closing of today's session. I request you to stay tuned for more such sessions. Until then, thank you and goodbye.